Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. I'm so glad I've been invited to speak at OSX. And thank you so much for spending the next 20 minutes with me, where I'll be talking about making customer experience your competitive advantage. How do you know about customer experience? Customer experience today is in everybody's lips. We want to know everything about it. So, I traveled for the last 2 years in Southeast Asia, and I came back 4 months ago. I came back to Europe. I was missing my family, missing my country, missing my continent. Why am I going to talk about Kodak today? Because when I came back, I wanted to sit down with my family, with my friends, and look back at our moments. Look back at what we did in our childhood. So we sat down in the kitchen table, and we went through the photo albums of our photos. And that was beautiful. Beautiful time we had. Beautiful memories. Does it happen to you now that you sit down in the kitchen table with your phone and you share your memories? Probably not, right? It is not the same anymore. Where has it all gone? What are our memories? They're all stored on our phones, and unfortunately, we don't look back like before. We don't sit down and share moments like before, right? Raise your hand if you remember Kodak. Great, because if you don't, I spot your generation straight away. Well, Kodak was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, name in photography out there. They were the absolute leaders. In the 1970s, they were the market leaders in photography. They owned 86% in market share in cameras and 90% market share in films. They owned basically the photography business. They had an amazing marketing campaign called the Kodak Moment, where people, customers, used to associate the Kodak brand with every moment worth of a photo. How brilliant. People want to capture moments every time, every generation, whether it was yesterday, whether it's now, whether it's in the future. And Kodak captured that, and Kodak was basically in the mind of their customers every time they wanted to take a moment, capture a moment, right? Brilliant. In the 1990s, Kodak was started selling some sort of digital cameras, but they didn't want to concentrate too much on digital cameras, as they thought, well, our business is actually films, paper, and cameras, traditional cameras. And it wasn't until 2006 when smaller companies started to understand where the industry was going, and it was inevitable that Kodak started to make a shift from traditional camera to digital cameras. But unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. And in 2012, they filed bankruptcy. What happened? In the 1976, they were the inventors of the digital cameras. Many people say that Kodak ignored completely where the industry was going and how consumer behavior were changing, right? They ignored what consumer wanted and needed. I would say that Kodak didn't concentrate on consumer behavior and where the industry was going, not enough. And that's why Kodak, unfortunately, fell behind. That's what happened. So Kodak didn't manage, with a blind optimist, didn't manage the digital wave of disruption. But what is disruption today? Disruption is a process. It's basically a process whereby a smaller company with fewer resources is able to successfully challenge established incumbent businesses. What does it even mean? It means that smaller companies with fewer people are more agile, and with even fewer resources, financial resources, they're able to understand the ever-evolving consumer behavior, needs and wants, and they're able to understand where the industry goes, what people want today. That's exactly what it means. So smaller companies, more agile, and younger companies are able to revolutionize a sector. That's what disruption means. We live in a time that we either disrupt or we are disrupted. Whether it's product disruption or business model disruption. Disruption is disrupting us, is disrupting our behavior. We're living in a time where many call it digital Darwinism, where as technology evolves, society evolves as a result. There are so many new technologies, so many new trends, and so many new behaviors. How do we keep alive? The only way we can keep alive in this ever-evolving and hyper-competitive marketplace is with the level of customer experience. That is the only way we can keep alive. And as I said before, customer experience is in everybody's lips today. But what it is? Well, customer experience is the impression you leave with your customers across all stages of the customer journey. And basically is everything today. If you have a great website, but a bad customer service, you're not delivering a good customer experience. That's a matter of fact. Our customer behavior today are changing exponentially, and it's only going to push forward. It will never go backwards. Not understanding how consumer behavior are changing is going to put your company at risk. And the bigger the gap, the bigger the threat of disruption. That's exactly what happened with Kodak, right? They failed to understand where the industry was going, and they failed to understand the changing in consumer behavior, and they failed to understand what they wanted and what they needed. We're so bombarded by content today, similar messages, similar information, and similar adverts, and people trying to sell at things, that we are bombarded by information. We are basically having this overload of content in the billions of people around the world. So what is going on? It's happening that your customers today are switching off their brains. They don't know who to believe anymore. They don't believe your marketing anymore. They believe strangers on social media, and they are switching off their brains. And it means that also this is causing a decrease in attention span, which back in 2000, it was 12 seconds. And today is barely 8 seconds, which many call it is the same as a goldfish, right? How scary is it? It means that whatever you do, if you don't capture the attention of your customers, they're gone straight away. We live in an always-on culture today. Your customers want instant gratification. They don't want to wait for your 20 steps process to go through. They want it now. They want things now. They don't have patience at all. The advancement of technology has created this, that we now live in an always-on culture. This is Revolut. Revolut is an online bank that doesn't have a bank branch, because Revolut understands that the digital consumer doesn't need a bank branch to make a transaction. So what they do, they ask the customers, do you want a bank card? Great, get it now. Do you want a new bank account? Get it now. Do you want a new travel insurance? Awesome, here it is. So it's not more an apply now process, but it's a get it now process, which is different. Going digital doesn't mean that you have to transfer your 20 steps application process into digital, but it means that you have to adapt your processes to the digital consumer. That's what it exactly means. So your customers today are more empowered than ever. Social media has empowered your customers that they already know that if they complain publicly and on social media, they will get a better and quicker response. They want your response all the time, 24/7. Understanding your customer behavior, understanding your customers. A lot of companies say that they know their customers. And we're not talking about knowing customers, what their demographics are, where they live, what they do. We're actually saying knowing your customers on a deeper level, on an emotional level. Because with so many channels or so many devices that we are using today for one transaction, your customers today are leaving breadcrumbs, they're leaving data, and they are sharing signals with you that you didn't even know about. So your job today is to capture this data, analyze this data, and create better customer experience for them. So I always say to my clients, you need to understand your customers on a deeper level, on an empathetic level. And that means understand what they do, what they think, what they hear, what they feel, what they say, everything. Because if you be able to understand your customers on an emotional level, you're able to shape better messages that in turn lead you to create better customer experiences. That is equal to brand loyalty. This is HSBC China. HSBC understands the digital consumer very well, that they want things now. So what they did, they've embedded the facial recognition software in their mobile app so that their customers could open a bank account or add a new payee in a matter of seconds with a selfie. How does it work? You take a selfie, and the algorithm checks and matches that selfie straight away with the customer profile. Brilliant. Boom, you open your bank account. And it's not anymore the application process, right? Who would have thought 15 years ago we could have opened a bank account with a selfie? We would have said, what the hell is a selfie, right? So that's HSBC China. So understand your customers, what they really want. Immediacy, no patience, instant gratification. That's what they want today. That's what technology has done to us. As you scale your business, as you grow your business, you start losing understanding, you start losing touch of your customers. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is a computer-based system that can perform tasks that human beings can do, but in a much faster and accurate way. That can help you create a 360 degrees of your customers, 360 degrees views of them, so that you'll be able to capture all that data in a matter of seconds. Buried inside all that data, there are insights, patterns, behaviors that you didn't even know about. So artificial intelligence and machine learning can help you analyze huge amount of data, take all that data, create messages, automated and personalized experiences for your customers. The power of your mobile today. What's happening? We are obsessed with our phones today. We are addicted to our phones. We live in a mobile culture today. Technology has revolutionized, actually our phone has revolutionized the way we behave today. Absolutely. The phone has been the biggest disruptor of our behavior in a very long time. We check our phone 1,500 times per week, and that is 240 minutes per day. There are over 5 billion users, mobile phone users around the world. That is insane. What does it mean? It means that your customers are probably buying your products while they are on the toilet. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is real. This is absolutely real. We are hyper-connected to our phones even when we are not physically connected to our phones. The last 2 generations, millennials and Generation Z, nearly 100% of them, they check their phones while they are on the toilet. What does it mean? It means that you must have a mobile-friendly website. You have to fit that website that you have on your desktop in this little device. This little device is completely transforming our lives. So we have to make sure that we are there. What does it all mean? It means that your customer journey is not linear anymore. It used to be in the shape of a funnel. It used to be this, and used to go through 4 different stages: awareness, consideration, purchase, and advocacy. Well, forget about it. It doesn't exist anymore. Your customer journey is more like a roller coaster. It widens and narrows as your customers go through different stages, emotions, activities, feelings of their customer journey. Your customer journey is the sum of all the interactions and touch points that your customers go through before, during, and after purchases. And it can be really anything. It can be reading a blog post, it can be watching a video, it can be talking to your salespeople, it can be talking to your customer service, anything. And that's why we now go through different emotions, and if we're talking to our peers, then our customer journey completely diverts to another direction, right? That's why your customer journey today narrows and widens so much that you have to follow it. You have to understand it. A lot of my customers say, oh, but we are siloed. Our marketing doesn't talk to sales. Your customers don't care whether you're siloed. They really don't. They don't care whether logistics talks to operations, right? They don't care what's going on in the backstage, the back end. They don't really care. They expect the same level of customer experience that Amazon, Uber, Apple, and other big giants are delivering. That's what they are used to today. So even though you don't know, you are competing against them, right? So what you need to do, you need to deliver a consistent and holistic customer experience across that organization. Everyone within your organization needs to understand the importance of customer experience, and you have to have that customer-centric culture within the whole organization. Some of my customers ask me, where do I even start? I know, right? Well, let's start by delivering the basics of your customer expectations. For example, United Airlines, their basics is take me from A to B, right? Well, sometimes companies, they forget about it. They forget what are the basics of their customers' expectations. Then scale up to exceeding those expectations, right? Fortunately, they forgot how to take people from A to B, and this is what happened. They literally dragged somebody out of a plane because it was busy, because it was overbooked, and this is what happened. It went viral. It damaged their brand so much that it was a PR disaster across the history. Which means that they've lost $1 billion in sales because of this beautiful action they did a couple of years ago. Experience is an emotion, is a sentiment today. Your customers are not buying products anymore, they're buying experiences, they're buying memories. So start by breaking down that customer journey, understand what's not working, understand what are the problems, the frictions, and fix them as soon as possible. Kodak might be gone, but people still live in moments, still buy in moments. Are you going to leave your customers with a great experience? And are you going to leave them with a great photograph of their experience? Great, that's all for me. If there is one thing that I'd like you to take away from this talk is obsess over your customers. Thank you so much. This is me. I'll give you a few minutes to ask me any questions you might have. I'd like to get to know you better. I'd like to know how you're doing with your customer experience. If you have any questions, please fire away and please connect with me. Thank you.